for example, the encirclement now of Pokrovsk, and in terms of changing the dynamic of the war, but also the Western involvement.
Well, I sent you something this morning. I don't know if you saw it or not.
The young Ukrainian.
Yeah, you might even want to consider running that, because I think that's very dramatic. And I think it points to something that's very, very wrong in Ukraine.
Я мобилизовала, я еду в часов, Яр, помоги, не хочу умирать, мне всего 23, помогите, пожалуйста.
That this man, Zelensky, seems determined to kill as many Ukrainian Christians as he possibly can. It's not just a question of fighting Russia. He's happy to denude Ukraine of people. And that is, in my judgment, a horrific war crime. It's right up there with what's happening in Gaza. Now, I don't know what the larger agenda is, but when you watch this man, this young man, you cannot help but feel sympathy for him. And it may be that the secret police, which is compares, it would seem, pretty favorably with Stalin's NKVD right now in Ukraine, that the population can't overthrow the government. They can't rid themselves of this man. This puts the Russians in a terrible position, because this means they have to advance. They have to move further. And it looks more and more as though they'll move up to the river. They'll take Odessa. Now, what do they do beyond that? They don't want to go any further west. They don't want to rule or govern Ukrainians. But at some point, you have to bite the bullet and do what is necessary to secure your country. I think that's the position the Russians are in. But if we come to blows with the Russians over Venezuela because of these two warships, then I would say the slow boil that you pointed to in Ukraine will suddenly become a very high boil. In other words, the temperature will be turned up, and we'll begin to see the water boil off rapidly. Because at that point, the question inside the Kremlin is, why are we exercising such restraint? You know, the Americans mistake our restraint for weakness, and we are not weak. Number one. Number two, why do the Americans not understand what we really want? Well, they don't understand it because they refuse to listen to it. They won't even consider the legitimate security interests of Moscow. They refuse to acknowledge that Moscow not only has legitimate security interests, but it has to be treated not as a backward third world country, but as a developed state with superior military power and a great deal of economic potential as a result of all of its resources.